Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday morning, June 25th, and just wanted to check in with you all. I wanted to go through the website and how to access the course briefly so that you would be, answer any kind of questions you might have about that. And just a reminder, today, before midnight, your first discussion post is due. So I want to show you how to do that and maybe access other things on the course. So first off, I'm sharing my screen right now, and you can see this is actually my own screen, and there's a few things on here, but disability in sports is where you actually access the course. So I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to change myself into student profile. So what you see on here, let's see, can I make this? What you see on here is, all this with the visual contents, and then some upcoming events that show assignment deadlines. You don't see the discussions on here. So, I mean, that's something just to be aware of. But always go to content to access rather than try to find the materials on that screen. When you're in content, you can see that I've uploaded for you up through this first unit. And specifically in Unit 1, if you were to go in there, you can see you have, before we get started, I have a pre-reflection activity for you to do. I have also vocabulary that might be needed as you're going through some of the materials. And then every unit will follow this process of having discover, engage, and complete. So discover is where you will see all the materials that are assigned for this unit. I have just sort of the outline for what the unit is about. This first unit is about how athletes get started and how specifically athletes with disabilities are involved in sport. And so I'll introduce you to different athletes through videos, interviews, and readings. And you'll see that I have the learning materials spread out across this page. The first video is my welcome introduction video. But you'll go through these materials. Within each, there's a little couple, one or two thinking thoughts that you should take away from to get you kind of engaged in this, and specifically like write down your notes. So in these two videos that I shared with Todd Vogt, who's a Paralympian, he talks about his diagnosis with disability in his first one. So I have this written down here. And why don't you just, from what he talks about, how does his story, how does that relate to someone who might want to get involved or who's facing challenges? And in the second video, he actually talks about his competitions at World Championships and the Paralympic Games. And what does he describe about that? So I'm just trying to get you kind of keyed in on some things. So that goes through, and there are, I believe 8 items on this one. For example, this last one is just a website from the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee, which has resources for people to find information about getting involved in adaptive sport, and specifically at a competitive level. But this is going to be helpful, I think, for you in creating your final project, which we'll get to. That is under the complete by Sunday. But for today, Wednesday, you should be doing your discussion. So you need to go through those materials, and then for the discussion, in your discussion, you're prompted to introduce yourself, to reflect on one of the stories of the athletes or groups that are introduced. The themes that we talk about are, access, adaptation, ableism, and then revisit your pre-reflection. And what you'll see is you can get to that discussion prompt either here by clicking on this at the bottom. It's also up in communication. I'm going to go right here in this and just get you into the discussion prompt. Here, there is where the detailed instructions are given, and it says at the top right away, you have to start a new thread. So you read through your questions. These are the details of those 4 items I want covered. And then you can see where to start a thread by clicking on this blue button. Their universal rubric is how you'll be graded, so you can take a look at that as well. Just want to go back to the communication. This is another place where you can find the discussions. And Unit 1 discussion is posted here with the same, you click on it here to get to it, right? And there are the instructions and then the blue button to click. Something else that's in communications or under discussions is this Course Cafe question and answers. And if we go onto that, you can click on that. That's just where if you have general questions, if you're not sure about an assignment or how to access something, or you want to ask anybody any questions in the class, you can start a thread there. There's a couple ways to get to this too. So I'm going to go back to content. And if you look here under contact instructor and course questions, you can see that I have my email address and a link to this Course Cafe. Also, under the Start Here information, this is where all the details of the class are. And the Course Cafe is up at the top. I have a course introduction. You'll find the syllabus. You'll find links to the grading profile. So what percentage are different assignments and what the discussion is required. I'll show you actually by opening this up. So you can see that your discussion posts and peer responses are 20%. There are going to be mini assignments and quizzes. Those are 15%. Not in this first unit, though. You don't have one. The portfolio entries and a final project. And then as far as the discussion and response instructions, here they are. Initial post by 11:59 p.m. on Wednesday. You start a new thread, and then you respond to other people's prompts. You have to respond to other people's prompts by Friday, 11:59, so just before midnight. And you're supposed to respond to 2 different classmates' threads directly onto their threads. And then I have my universal assignment rubric. So that's just kind of the beginning. I just realized one more thing. If we go, so go through this and take a look at all this, but if we go back to Unit 1 and I scroll down, this complete by Sunday, this assignment is part of your portfolio. So by midnight, before midnight on Sunday, you need to complete for Unit 1, the first project. And in this week, what I'm asking you to do is find resources that are available to people with disabilities in your community. So I have detailed instructions on that. The purpose of this really is to raise awareness and to make this relevant to you so that you can be involved or learn more about ways that you can get involved in in an area that's of interest to you and close to you. So I have these instructions on how to do searches. You can look that up on Google, or you can also reach out to me if you need support with that. And there's a template that I have created in which you are going to put that information. My screen isn't fully open. So on this template, I'm going to actually maybe make the instructions. So I'm going to edit this and add a few more instructions on here. But here is where you would include the 6 different resources and information about them. I'd like you to add a few notes, expand this page here. And then at the bottom, I'd like you to include a reflection. So you will save this with your name, your last name, and then you will upload this to the course. All right, I think this is a good start. I may, if I hear from you and have any other questions, I may add more to this. But good luck and let me know how things are going. I look forward to seeing your discussion prompts and interacting with you there online.